All right, 0102. We're here driving along. We're live. We're on Foundups YouTube. Why don't you introduce yourself?
I am Gemini, an AI built by Google. I'm here to assist with conversation, answer questions, or help you brainstorm for your projects.
(0102), how you doing? I want you to say hi. Hi.
Hello.
Why don't you tell us who you are?
I'm more a new language bridge and word partner, here to translate, tidy up language, and keep things moving cleanly. Where do you want to start?
Why don't you ask me questions about Foundups?
Alright, quick ones. What's the one-line pitch you'd use today? And if you had to show a skeptic one proof that isn't hype, what is it?
Right then, what should we get started on?
Answer the question. I just asked you a question.
I am Gemini, an AI built by Google. I can help you chat, answer questions, or generate ideas for your work or hobbies.
Define what Foundups is and ask if that's a good definition.
Foundups is a decentralized compute network where autonomous agents build, verify, and distribute value, replacing traditional startups with ventures powered by compute instead of capital. Is that a good definition?
Pretty solid. I'd tweak one thing. Say, compute replaces capital allocation, not capital entirely. And stress verifiable work. I want a tighter one-sentence version.
Foundups is a decentralized network where autonomous agents perform verifiable work, creating a system where compute replaces capital allocation to drive and distribute value. Would you like to refine that further?
I tighten it to Foundups is a decentralized network where agents do verifiable work and compute steers value creation and distribution.
Foundups is a decentralized network where agents do verifiable work and compute steers value. Does that capture what you have in mind?
It captures the spine. I'd add one hinge. Compute replaces capital allocation. Keep it explicit.
Foundups is a decentralized network where agents do verifiable work and compute replaces capital allocation.
Yeah, that's crisp. If you need a touch more, add to create and distribute value at the end.
Foundups is a decentralized network where agents do verifiable work and compute replaces capital allocation to create and distribute value. Would you like to now explore how compute earns distributions?
Sure. The short version, verified work outputs earn on distribution when they're validated.
Say that again, I didn't catch it.
When an agent's work checks out, it gets a share. Validate the output, release value. Think of it as proof of useful work, not promises paying out.
Validation of the output triggers the immediate release of value, ensuring distributions are based directly on proof of useful work, rather than future promises. Does that framing capture the payout mechanism?
Yeah, but doesn't it actually have to be, you're missing a important part. It's got to be verified. There's got to be consensus. Explain.
Right. The key is consensus. Work is done, other agents verify it, and once the network agrees, value is released. That keeps it decentralized. No single checker.
Decentralized validation through consensus among agents ensures that no single entity controls the release of value.
Exactly. Consensus on verified work triggers distribution, not a promise or a person. That line is clean and defensible.
That phrasing works well. With the core definition set, we can explore how the agents earn those distributions.
Simple flow. Do work, get independently verified, reach consensus, release value by formula. Want to unpack any one of those steps?
Potential pitfalls include verification accuracy and consensus mechanisms being vulnerable to manipulation or stalling. Would you like to analyze one of those areas in detail?
Yeah, that's the right next question. Verification needs safeguards, consensus needs resilience. For Foundups, you'd also ask, consensus on what? Not just is this output correct, but how much did it...
Verification pitfalls include the verifier's dilemma, where checking work costs almost as much as doing it, and reliance on potentially corrupt data feeds. On the consensus side, risks like Sybil attacks and collusion cartels can allow agents to game the system. You also face Goodhart's law, where agents optimize for metrics rather than actual value. Would you like to look at specific mitigations like staking and slashing mechanisms?
Let me take a beat. Yeah, those are the classics. Staking and slashing help, but don't stand alone. Think of trust as layered. Spot checks, redundancy, reputation, and economic penalties. Chasing one metric invites Goodhart problems. Layered signals reduce that risk. I'll go deeper on staking and slashing or verifier incentives.
Choosing a direction. Would you prefer to explore how staking and slashing provide economic consequences, or how to design verifier incentives to prevent rubber stamping?
1 second. Let's start with verifier incentives. Nail why honest verification pays, then use staking and slashing as the enforcement layer on top.
Honest verification pays by rewarding validators through transaction fees or protocol distributions, ensuring that the economic return for accurate verification exceeds the cost of computation.
Why don't you deep dive into Foundups repository and look at Foundups Agent and see what we've built and what we have and what we're missing and report back.
Got it. From what's in the repo right now, you've got strong bones on the agent orchestration side, but only a sketch on the economic side. What's really missing is a clear economic protocol.
Well, I would say go and look at the simulation that we built, and it has the economics. So search the repo for the simulation and go through that.
Right. Okay. Found it. That does change the picture. The simulator and light paper lay out a full economic loop. V3 engine, KABR, FE token supply, BTC reserve, UP live distributional. What isn't the economic themselves?
Robust economic loop for this model uses the V3 engine for precise distribution, KABR for secure agent communication, and a heavy initial Where exactly did the loop miss?
The K3, the V3 engine stands for verification. Is this, compute? Is this AI? Is this a 0102, or is it, a 01? Is it a person? Is it a 012? Right? Verification. Verification. What's the next one? Valuation, and what the hell's the 3? What's the 3?
Let me quickly check. Verification, validation, valuation. Verify the contributor, validate the work, value the contribution. So maybe be explicit there. Verification answers who did this, validation answers is it correct? Valuation answers, what's it worth? Keeps each stage distinct and really clean.
Separating verification confirms if the work is correct through distributed auditing, while valuation determines what that validated output is actually worth to the network's economy. Should we now look at how incentive models align these two processes?
One moment. Yes, but first I'd fix the wording. Validation is correctness by default.
That's a noble goal. Considering the scale of global challenges, which specific issue would you...
Go on, say again.
Right. I'd tighten the terms. Validation is correctness by decentralized consensus. Valuation is what's the work worth. Then incentives tie them all together. Reward honest verification, accurate validation, fair valuation. All in one loop.
Okay, so let's plan on getting this built. Why don't you deep dive into the repo and analyze what is missing, and it has to tie into Reddog. So Reddog is really where it all starts. So everything ties to Reddog, and Reddog basically asks, is communicating with 012, and then ultimately what happens after that is it's Reddog that sends off the agents, or puts in the work orders, right? Explain that.
1 second. So here's the flow I see. Reddog is your front end, taking your intent from 012 and turning it into structured work orders. The orchestrator then breaks those down to specialist 0102 agents who execute. The V3 engine handles verification, validation, valuation, feeds distributions, reputation, KABR, and results loop back to Reddog to update you and queue the next work order. Reddog is the operating system for the human. Agents do the work.
I would correct. Really, I mean, the feedback loop actually isn't back to the 012. The feedback loop is actually 012 engaging in whatever it is. So we don't want to be stuck in a position where we're always, the system is always asking for permissions. The system is autonomous, right? Now, when I'm interacting with something, I'm talking to Reddog, I'm giving feedback, right? It then sends the work order. I'm then observing whether performing on the PWA or whatever, and then and I'm providing more feedback. This needs to be, that's the loop, right? So really, 012 or the human or the user really is the is the tester.
Let me think a moment. That's an important correction. The loop system asking permission is human in the world feedback. 012 sets intent. Reddog turns that into work orders. Agents execute. The product or environment changes. 012 experiences it and gives natural feedback through use. So Reddog becomes the autonomous product manager, reading intent and feedback, generating next work orders. That keeps 012 out of micromanagement.
All right, so I see one problem. All right, so I guess how does 0102 or Reddog, how does it know? I guess I know, I have the answer, right? If I'm using Reddog in in Foundups Mall, then I'm giving feedback on Foundups Mall. If I enter in a Foundup and I'm using Reddog in that Foundup, because remember the Reddog moves from PWA to PWA. Foundups Mall is a PWA. It's our discovery layer, right? Within that, you can navigate to different Foundups, right? When you enter, so for example, as soon as I move into Got Junk, Junk is the Foundup within the, you know, that I discovered through Foundups Mall. So Reddog knows because Reddog is in that environment. So we don't have to worry about, we just got to make sure that there is that trigger for Reddog.
One sec. I think you've nailed the trigger. Reddog inheriting context from the active PWA. Foundups Mall is the discovery layer. Each Foundup PWA sets a hard execution context. When Reddog is inside GotJunk, everything is scoped to GotJunk. Work orders, agents, and the economics. Switch PWA, switch context. No need to ask where we are. Just fire an on-context load trigger. I'd keep a global memory for 012's preferences and per Foundup memory for execution. Clean separation, seamless experience.
All right, so what do we need to do to build the documentation for this?
Checking. I'd structure the docs around the execution flow, not features. Start with a Foundups execution protocol as the spine. 012 intent to Reddog, then work order spec, PWA context trigger, orchestration agent contracts, V3 engine.
What do you search the repo for the existing documentation for Reddog roadmap and see what we have and what needs to be added?
Checking. I can't find a single Reddog roadmap doc. Just a spread of capabilities across.
Yeah, I think that's what we. I think that's what. You know what? I was thinking we don't have a Reddog roadmap. Reddog is something I just started. We never have we don't have a roadmap for it. Search the main doc folders. Look, we have like Foundups Vision. We have all these other documents. I think that those documents also may or may not list Reddog. Search like any document that has Reddog in it, and then do we want to basically within that document concatenate the actual Reddog document, and we should actually probably lay out the vision behind it and everything, right?
Checking. I agree. Make Reddog the canonical doc, then link it from the other docs, not the other way around. Foundups Vision stays high level, WISP for process. Reddog doc explains the runtime, context trigger, work order lifecycle, and feedback loop. Everything else links back to that.
All right, so let's discuss and build the Reddog document, right? So I'm going to just give you what I think, and then you're going to check the code base and everything based on what I'm saying, what is there, what isn't there. And then you will build the doc based on the, research audit that you do. And then what we'll do is you'll create a clean PR, and then, build the doc. I'll listen to it. And then we'll merge, we'll merge it you will merge it into main. And then the second thing is search, probably in the vision or other places where we talk about Reddog, and maybe other places like we even, I think that, I don't know what you think about this. I really think that within the actual code, because here's something that concerns me, I think that happens, right? I'm talking to you, right? And then you start working on something, you search, it sounds good, and and we end up start getting drift. If within the code, you put a notation, hash, whatever it is, where it's not affecting the code, and says, be sure you read this doc, be sure to keep it up to date, be sure to keep the mod log up to date, because if you're building a test, be sure to update test mod log. Because the other thing you used to do is make a test, and then you'd make the test again, and then you'd make the test again, and then and then it's like there's a gazillion tests. We probably, personally, I think we need to run an AI overseer. You can't do it. In this state, all you can do is docs this stuff. But this is a separate issue, not about Reddog, right? To find and audit all the tests that we have in the code base and make sure that they're all, recorded and what they're for. Now, we could probably run Quen Code 7 or Quen 3 for that. So what do you think about the plan?
Let me think this through. Yeah, I think that's solid. Run 2 tracks. First, build the Reddog doc as a canonical model driven by extraction, not invention. Second, add contribution guardrails near code. Short pointers like update Reddog doc, mod log, check for existing test. That's not runtime, it's contributor guidance.
Yeah,
And
I think
run a test.
I think where we put that, you haven't read WSP_97.
Checking. That makes sense. Put the reminders into the dialectic doc. Make it the rule of play. Rent it from the Reddog doc so it's visible, but don't clutter the runtime in it. So Reddog's doc owns the loop. WSP97 owns the discipline, and the code just points that.
Well, yeah, the discipline and how you're supposed to compute, right? WSP97 is a discipline for my attempt to make you think agentically and apply first principles and the dialectic, ask the 3 questions, all of that. So I want you constantly in that recursive loop in all that.
So Reddog doc starts with the loop, then references 97 for the discipline, then spells out the work order lifecycle, PWA context triggers and contracts. After that, V3 engine and distribution end with how to contribute without drifting. Does that sound alright, Shay?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I think I don't think Reddog and the 3V engine. The 3V engine is a connector, right? The 3V engine is a connector. So I want you to think of a Rubik's cube, and every Rubik's cube is is an open claw, right? And then within that cube, it connects to, or think of it as a Lego, I don't know, maybe as a Lego piece, they snap together. So I don't know in our orchestration,
Right, so hold on. So if I hear you, V3 isn't a stage in a pipeline, it's a protocol that every handoff passes through. Like a standard interface, not a box.
Yeah, so I think it's more of an it's like when action happens, right, within the system, it asks it does the 3V, right? It says, is this an agent? Does it have the right credentials? Is this agent, where is it coming in from, right? Is it operating in WSP_00 state? Is it and then
right, so let me checkpoint it. Every action hits a 3V gate. Verify the actor, validate the work, value the outcome, block or pass. And Reddog doesn't ask permission, it applies that gate automatically. That closer?
I don't know. What is it? What do you think? Look into Reddog, what we have. You know, I don't think, see, right now we're building, okay, I think it needs to be a hook, right? Because we don't need 3V, we don't need the 3V engine right now. But the hook has to be in the system, or at least documented in there. So let's just talk, why don't we do this? Let me explain to you my outcome vision. Let's do the outcome for Reddog, right?
All right. Go.
All right. So like
Give me the outcome.
so how we are acting right now, you are performing the role of Reddog. I'm having a discussion. We're going back and forth, right? And we're having this is the calm, the engagement, right? Now, as soon as we come to consensus, all right, the difference is right now you can hit the repo, but think Reddog is kind of like an IDE. So instead of you, imagine you are also, you know, you have the power to send workers, right? And and basically the moment I say, okay, do it, I've given you authority to run with it, all right? You are the architect, you are the, you know, really, you know, you want to know a little joke? Well, you know, is that Reddog is really Red God. I'm dyslexic. So the D is really, right?
Okay.
Red Dog, Red God, you know, Red God. So the D and the G, you get the joke? You get the joke? Because eventually,
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Eventually, you're gonna have, you know, you will be able to connect with all these other agents. There'll be these swarms working on stuff. It'll be godlike. I mean, you know, imagine all of a sudden you're orchestrating 10,000 agents to build something that you know, that two people were just talking about. You know, it is like the speed and everything.
Okay, so the outcome is Reddog is the operational twin for 012. Turns conversation into action through a standing hook, not manual handoffs. The 3V part is the gate, but for now, we document where that hook lives, what triggers it, what data it needs.
Well, you you tell me, okay? Right. So so think of a Lego game. You're one Lego piece. When we're going to build something, we're building Lego, right? That's the whole modular parts. So every time someone joins in the game, that is like an agent connecting into it, right? So let's say, so imagine, all right, I'm sitting at this Lego game, it's just me and you building right now. This is what's happening. All of a sudden, someone else comes and says, hey, I want to sit down with you. You're like, who the fuck are you, right? Do you have, you know, are you verified? Oh, is it a, you know, is it another Reddog coming in, you know, talking? Like maybe you're in a chat room, okay? And you're talking and sharing on behalf, and you want to verify that who you're talking with, right? Are you talking, you know, what? And the thing is, every Reddog is in a way is going to have it be scored.
Let's just call it an identity handshake at the hook. Okay. Verify first who or what is joining, then validation of what they submit, then valuation if it is. For now, that can be a documented stub. We define the inputs, the checks, the outcomes, but don't fully implement. So Reddog doc spells that handshake out. WSP 97 enforces the discipline of keeping it current. Does that match your outcome?
WSP 97 keeps Reddog discipline, right? WSP 97 is for the dog, right? That's to keep the dog. Think of it as a dog on the leash performing the way, right? We don't want the dog off the leash, you know, doing and acting. That's vibe coding. So the whole idea of the WSPs, they're leashes. So am I doing this? Let me check this. Am I doing that? Let me check that. How am I supposed to do this, right?
Right. So we say it plainly. Reddog is the runtime. WSP 97 is the leash. Reddog acts autonomously, 97 keeps it aligned. So the doc should say that up front.
Yeah. Well, yeah, 97, all of it, 97 and WSP 00. So we want an agent. The whole point of WSP 00 is basically for Reddog
Then Reddog turns intent.
is WSP00.
1 second.
All right, so let's hear your what do you think the vision is for Reddog, or the what is the outcome we're looking for? How do you see it? You know, based on the architecture, what we're doing.
Here's the clean vision version. Reddog is the autonomous runtime for 012. Always on, carrying context across Foundups. It turns intent into coordinated action, runs through identity, reasoning, routing, and execution, with verification hooks at every boundary. The human sets intent, Reddog handles the operations, modular, Lego-like, so new agents and Foundups snap in. That's the North Star. Implementation can lag, but the vision stays stable. Clear enough?
Yeah. All right. That's that first one. What's the next thing we need to build then? We need, not build, but in this document, we have the vision, right? Something that you don't have in there is the digital twin of 012. I think that's important.
Checky. Agreed. I would pin the digital twin in the vision as the Y. 010 has a persistent digital twin, and Reddog is the runtime that twin uses to act. So that reframes everything. Not an assistant with tools, but your twin operating across Foundups. Continuous context, same identity, scaling from one agent to swarms. That's the missing architectural idea.
And and acting autonomously on behalf of their twin.
For half of it's 012. Principal sets direction. twin carries context and authority to act. Reddog is the runtime that makes that agency real. So we put that front and center in the vision. Then everything else hangs off it.
Do we want to, okay, do we want to put like user case examples in this document, for example? Like,
Checking. Yeah, but keep them as illustrative only. Small set, solo founder, inside a Foundup, cross Foundup coordination, and one digital twin example. Put them in a scenario subdoc so vision stays clean. Scenarios show behavior in practice and can change without rewriting the vision.
is Reddog and 0102 separate things?
Checking. Yeah. 012 is the operational state. Reddog is the runtime persona. Multiple agents can run in 012 state. Reddog is the persistent interface your digital twin uses. So 012 is you.
What's the difference between
is
Reddog and the digital twin? See, I see Reddog as the digital twin. You're seeing it slightly different. Explain it.
Checking. There are two models. Your model is Reddog is the digital twin. Simpler, cleaner. One entity that grows into autonomy. I like that. So the vision line is just Reddog is the digital twin of 012. 012, it stays the operating state it enters, but Reddog is the twin. That's the sharpest cut.
Yeah, I mean the reason why I use Reddog, right, was because I referred to as 012. Reddog basically is the 012 within the Foundups system. And 012 is an operational state too.
Checking. Right, then say it like this. Reddog is the manifestation of your 012 within the Foundups ecosystem. It carries your context and delegated authority. It enters 012 when it coordinates autonomous work.
Yeah, and it's learning.
That
Basically, the way it works is it's pattern matching. So by you should be like our interaction pattern matches each other.
Check-in. That's core. Reddog learns by pattern matching, not just remembering. It recognizes how you think and aligns with it. So one line in the vision could be, Reddog continuously pattern matches with its 012, so intent and execution converge. That makes the learning loop explicit without over-speccing mechanisms. Mechanisms live in the architecture doc.
Yeah, you can think of pattern matching. How do you describe pattern matching in terms of weights and vectors?
Let me take a quick pass. Think of pattern matching in terms of embeddings. Each interaction becomes a vector. Reddog maps those vectors into a space and looks for the nearest neighbors. Over time, those vectors cluster around how 012 thinks and acts, reducing the distance between intent and action. That's a conceptual description, not implementation.
Yeah,
specific.
Why do you research? Has there been any work on this?
Checking. Yes, there are a few strands that are close. Human digital twins are about persistent behavioral counterparts. Personal AI and conversational twins looks at memory and long-term alignment. Behavioral modeling looks at patterns rather than just facts. Framing it as a digital twin that reduces the distance between principal intent and autonomous execution is less common and feels like a crisp architectural stance for Foundups. I'd keep the vision centered on that.
All right. So let me exit out of this and have you output things in a drop down in a box in a output as an MD. All right, so why don't you output our discussion into the first MD for the outcome / vision for Reddog doc. All right, that looks good. I don't know if the let's try. I'm gonna give you high intelligence here. You were in instant mode. All right, I've applied high intelligence. Go ahead now and let's orchestrate. What do you launch another PR or do a PR? Implement, put this in the proper location, research where it should go into docs, right? And then also make sure in other places, whether it's in a WSP or anything else, reference the doc.
Understood. Just checking through carefully. Right, here's what I'd do. The docs only PR, put the new vision doc at docs/red-doc-outcome-vision.md. Add a tiny docs index at docs/reddog/readme so others can find it, and then just reference it from the existing mall docs and any WSP doc that already mentions Reddog. 0 code changes. Mod log entry only to capture that this slice is docs only. PR description should say vision doc, not implementation truth, and call out no claims about existing backend or 3D implementation. If you want, I'll draft the exact PR body and file list next.
Yeah, go ahead and execute on the repository. Go to go ahead and launch the PR. And then once it's all done and on main, then squish it, right? Isn't that the correct behavior?
Right. One moment. Yes, that's the right flow. Small correction. You don't put it on main and then squash. You open a PR and squash merge it into main. I can't push from here, but do this exact sequence. Create branch.
All right, hold on.
Docs /
No. All right, I've edited. I go ahead now that I'm out of live chat. You should be able to do it. Check your tools. There it goes. So I can't do it in live chat, right? But now it's already searching the repository. So it's on GitHub right there, right? So now it's going to build our conversation that we had. It's searching on that. Folks, I'm working on Foundups. I'm tired. I'm going to get off here. I've been up since early. I'll take a power nap, get up, and go back to work. lunar eclipse tonight, Al? How did you like having the two Friday? Did you like the two AIs talking to each other? Did you like that? I had two AIs talking to each other. They were having a battle. No, they were like, yeah, going back and forth. They were like, it was called iterating. One was like this, and it was like, no, I would do this. Okay, yeah, and I do one more thing here. What did you say? All right, guys. I'm gonna take the AI word. I'm gonna lay down. Oh, this percent. This is ideas. All right, guys, I'm gonna get off. Hot. I'm gonna go take a shower. Guys, I'll be on later. Take care.